So let me set the scene for you. In March 2019, I'm in a beautiful resort in wine country, Napa Valley, California. I just flew from London and I feel so excited to be here. I'm at my company's annual kickoff event to celebrate our success with all my colleagues from all around the world. I feel on top of the world. I'm pumped up to be here with all my colleagues for 3 days. And as I sit down in my hotel room to check where I'm supposed to be next, I find out by accident that I have not been invited to the Women in Business lunch. I feel like a door has been slammed on my face. I feel excluded. I feel rejected. I feel like I did not belong. This is another act from exclusion by my own boss, who, for the last 12 months, has been excluding me from team events and has been passing me over for a long overdue promotion, telling me that I was not ready yet to be promoted. That act of exclusion from that lunch made me feel more excluded, more disconnected from my manager than ever before. But feeling excluded at work is not something that happened just to me. It happened to many of us, but in particular to women and other minorities. For every 100 men that are hired and promoted to a manager level position, only 72 women experience the same thing. And it's not that women don't negotiate or don't ask for promotions. In fact, women negotiate and ask for promotions even more often than men. The hard truth is that when women negotiate, people like them less for it. I can certainly remember how many times I was told that I was too aggressive and too confrontational when I asked for a promotion. But research continues. Women are often hired and promoted based on past accomplishment, whereas men are more often hired and promoted based on future potential. I certainly remember how many times I have been told I was not ready yet for a promotion. So I find out 3 ways that you can invite everyone to your table so that they can bring everything to the table. I use the ACT acronym. A. Articulate your why and set goals. C. Change your mindset. And T. Take real action. In 2019, as I joined a new company, I realized that we only had 1 black colleague in our entire team. He was very quiet, he was very shy and always kept to himself. One day, our vice president invited him to join our weekly sales team meeting to talk about his favorite project, the charity project. As he joined our weekly sales team meeting and he started talking about his favorite project, he literally lightened up. He became more chatty, he was making jokes, he had a nice word for everyone every morning, and the entire team started to bond together, which was not the case before. He even came up with new ideas for his work. Inviting everyone to the table ensured everybody brought everything to the table. Think about why diversity and inclusion is important to you and your team. Is it because it will make your team more collaborative? Is it because it will make your team more innovative or more creative thinking? Whatever the reason, make sure you understand why inclusion and diversity is important to you and set goals. Remember, Inclusive organizations are twice more likely to exceed financial results, but most organizations don't set goals for diversity and inclusion. Monetary goals drive behavior faster. Invite everyone to your table, and they will bring everything to the table. C. Change your mindset. In 2019, I experienced another act of exclusion by my own boss. As we sat down for my annual performance review, she talked to me about one particular area that I needed to improve in order to get promoted. I needed to be less aggressive. I needed to soften down my tone, and I needed to be less confrontational in meetings. Meanwhile, my boss promoted my male counterparts who interrupted everyone in meetings, who was the most confrontational and who was the most outspoken in team meetings. A study by Yale psychologist Victoria Briscoe revealed that when male executives speak more often in meetings, they are regarded as more competent. But when female executives speak more often in meetings, they are regarded as less competent and suffer lower competency ratings. One leader's fixed mindset can hinder an entire team collaboration and productivity. Think about your own mindset. Is it fixed or is it growth orientated? Do you avoid challenges? Are you threatened by others people's successes? Or do you seek to learn and do you seek to speak about challenges at work? In 2018, my vice president invited or hired one openly gay man to join our team. He was bubbly, he was young, he was warm, and he was so much fun to be around, in dark contrast with the rest of the team who was made of more conservative, straight men. As the weeks went on, I could hear offensive jokes targeting our new hire and offensive comments targeting our new hire. Eventually, he resigned. I felt furious, especially because he was the second new hire to leave the company, and the first hire was an openly bisexual young woman who experienced a similar treatment. Some questions you can ask yourself to check your own mindset include: how diverse were your last 10 hires? Think about your last 10 promotions. How diverse do you consider them to be? Think about whose efforts you acknowledged in your last team meetings. And think about who were the last 10 people to leave your organization. How diverse do you consider them to be? Or do you notice any similarity in their backgrounds? Think of yourself as a change agent. If you think of yourself as a change agent and you hold yourself accountable, you're going to be more successful to create an inclusive team. Inviting everyone to your table will make sure that they bring everything to the table. T. Take real action. At one of my last companies, the average age was 32 years old. The team was made of young, ambitious, high achiever people. One day, we hired a new sales manager. He was in his 50s. It was the first time we had someone who was older than 40 years old joining our team. He started implementing new processes and new systems, and the team became more productive and more consistent quarter after quarter. Having someone from a different background join our company made everyone more productive and more open-minded to receiving new ideas. One thing you can do to create a more inclusive team is to diversify your own network. How diverse do you consider your own network to be today? In 2019, as I joined a new company, I realized that the rest of my team from the marketing team was all based from San Francisco in California. They were all in their mid-20s and they were all with no kids. In contrast, I was based in London, UK. I was a mom of a 2-year-old toddler and a baby, and I was the only one whose English was her second language. In our team meetings, I could feel that the atmosphere was very hostile towards me. I could feel that I was the odd one out. I felt like my voice was not being heard and I was not invited to the important meetings. I felt constantly rejected and I always felt like I was the odd one out who did not belong to the team. One area that you can improve on to make sure your team feels included is unconscious bias training. Unconscious bias training can help create a more inclusive team if it has the right context, the right content, and is delivered to the right audience. Invite everyone to your table and they will bring everything to the table. So in March 2019, I flew back to London after that company annual kickoff event in California, Napa Valley. And as I returned to London and I sat down with my mentor for our weekly catch-up, I noticed he had a big smile on his face. So after I asked him what was going on, he announced to me that I had been invited to join our company's Achievers Club with our CEO at the Ritz-Carlton in California. I felt so grateful to have been invited to that prestigious event with our CEO. I felt like I was part of the team. I felt like the team was my family and I felt like nothing could stop us from achieving our goals together. That year, I delivered everything I had and I brought everything I had to the table. And I was the most productive I had ever been at that company. Inviting everyone to the table made sure everyone brought everything to the table. So we talked about the acronym A, articulate your why and set goals. C, change your mindset. And T, take real action. But if we go back to the way we used to do things and we don't change anything, we've wasted our time. So today, I want to ask you one simple question. What will you do to invite everyone to your table?